Hi everybody, this is Julie at Julie Loses. I'm checking in. It's Tuesday, the 24th of September, and it is officially my day 7 on the 2020 Lifestyles program. Today I will be meeting with my dietitian and with my therapist, both assigned by the program, to discuss how the first week went, and I'll get a weigh-in, which is, reasonably exciting, and a variety of other things, hopefully reintroducing vegetables. We'll see how that goes. The program, food-wise, is done in stages, and I believe there's 7 of them, and they start you down all the way with, protein shakes and chicken or some other lean protein, and then slowly, gradually add in non-starchy vegetables and fruits and fat-free or low-fat dairy, things like that. But I'm not sure at what increments. I know for people on a shorter program, they do them in week-long increments, but I'm not sure if the longer program means I'll have to wait, an extra week to reintroduce some things. So either way, it's all good. So I just wanted to kind of check in to let you know how the first week has been going for me. I think it's been going really well. Food-wise, I've been satisfied. I've had a little bit of hunger when I wake up in the morning. But usually it's because I wait too long to wake up in the morning. You'll notice I'm still in my morning attire, but it's after 10 o'clock in the morning. I've had a rough time getting up in the morning for a couple of days this week. Another thing I can say is that about a day into it, I noticed that I was really tired in the afternoons. And for about 2 days, I continued to be really tired in the afternoons. And then that went away. And then I got headaches for 2 days in a row. And I took some Tylenol. They say not to take Aleve or an anti-inflammatory because that can actually cause water retention, which could in turn, water retention is not great. So I took some Tylenol, beat it out the first day, came back another day, and then it went away. So all in all, I haven't had a whole lot of problems. I was prepared for the worst when they tell you that you can get headaches, you could get to feeling really cold, really miserable, really moody and irritable. I don't know that I've had any of that. I've been in fairly good spirits, apart from needing a nap for a couple of days and having a headache. I didn't suffer any other obnoxious side effects from this restrictive week 1 diet, and so I think I hopefully dodged that first bullet. I have been feeling a little sick. I woke up coughing over the last 2 nights a little bit, and I was sneezing yesterday, so I'm watching it, and while I feel totally fine right now, I'm watching it because I might have a cold coming on, and that's just I don't want to get sick at all throughout this. I mean, I know that there's going to be a time when at some point I hurt myself in some way, hopefully very minor, and I will, people get sick from time to time, but I'm really hoping to escape that because they're not really big on allowing for makeup days unless you've got a doctor's note and they put the program on hold for you. So that being said, so from a physical standpoint, that's okay. The food-wise, it's also been okay. I wouldn't say I've done spectacularly in terms of experimenting with other types of proteins. And that's actually something I'll get to in a few minutes. But the chicken I make is spectacular though, and I've been eating it pretty much for a month before this at dinner almost every night, so I'm used to it. I enjoy the taste of it, and so it hasn't caused me any issues now, but I know that it's possible that it could cause me issues down the line. So it's something that I'm thinking about and I want to address. The shakes are great. I fumbled with raspberries. I tried raspberries with one of their chocolate shakes, and just the raspberries were way too seedy for me. And I spent the whole time, with my tongue kind of running over my teeth trying to get out all the seeds, and I ended up having to down it, just to swallow, make whole swallows, and it felt really like I was swallowing foreign bodies the whole time, and it was a big turn off. So the strawberry vanilla shakes work extraordinarily well for me. And yesterday they have a sheet which gives you a lot of various recipes for the shake to mix it up, and I tried the vanilla chai recipe where you take the vanilla powder and you mix it. You add in a pinch of cinnamon, a pinch of nutmeg, and a pinch of cardamom, which I bought specifically for this, and it totally tasted like chai tea. And I ate it with some strawberries on the side, and it was a really nice step outside of the normal, vanilla strawberry shakes I've been having all the time. So, but I'm still not sick of them. I could still drink them a whole lot, and I see people doing it at the gym. I see people having their shakes. The gym has a bistro upstairs, and they also have like a little cafe downstairs, and they'll mix up your shakes for you. You can bring in your shake powder, you can buy it there. So that's pretty funny to see all of these people walking around with these shakes, either post workout. Let's see. The gym aspect it's a little overwhelming, frankly. My trainer appointments, I'm definitely getting my money's worth with my trainer. She is kicking my ass, and every day I go in there with her, I feel like I'm reaching my breaking point. I feel like I'm pushing past further than I've ever gone before, either with a specific muscle group or with a speed or a level of sweating. But I always come away with it, able to walk around, and she's teaching me how to stretch properly, and in some cases when I can't get to the stretch mechanically, she's stretching for me. And God, yesterday I did my 15-minute workout on a recumbent bike. I really tried to make it a warm-up and not kind of attack it like I had the previous time. And then she took me immediately to a treadmill, and I got on. I'm like, okay, cool, I can do this. And then the first thing she did was she had it at like 2.8 was the speed, and then she threw up the incline all the way to 10. And 2.8 is higher than I am used to going. I am used to going at about 2.5 to 2.7 when I hit my stride and I'm feeling really good. But 2.5 is usually I make my way up from 2 to 2.5, hit 2.5 for a while. When I'm feeling good, I start inching up to 2.7. 2.8 is just beyond my threshold. And the fact that she put the incline up to 10, my heart rate zoomed up to the 150s immediately, and my face felt super hot, and I just wasn't, my body doesn't sweat as much as it needs to just yet. It will, but it was so rough, and I had to tell her, this is a bit faster, and she could see that I was not able to keep up. So she thankfully dragged the speed down to 2.4 on the high incline. And even that was busting my butt. Oh man, it hurt real bad. And then she did some intervals. She took it down to 5. I was like, oh, that's great. So we'll do this for 5 minutes. which was the shortest 5 minutes ever. And then she threw me back up to 10, and then she took me down to 7.5, and then back to 5, and then it was done. After that, we went to the strength training, and again, we did these machines that I thought were going to kill me. It was deceptive. One machine, I would feel okay, I felt like this was heavy, but I was able to do it, and by the end I was tired, and it hurt a little bit, but that's the way it goes. And then another machine I would get on, and I would be 2 lifts into it, and I'd be like, this weight is too heavy. I wouldn't say that to her because I'm embarrassed, but I would think in my head, this weight is way too heavy. But I would keep doing it, and I'd be grimacing, and just at one point I lost my hat. My hat came flying off, and I was working so hard. And my heart rate was way up. But I did it, and I ended up doing 2 machines more than I did the previous day, or the previous training day, I guess. And then we went and did stretches. Again, we did some foam roller stretches, which were great. The problem is I have some lower back disc sensitivity from a previous herniation and bulging, and it gets inflamed very easily, and it's pretty much always inflamed, basically. And if something touches it really hurts. So I had to try to explain to her that some of the places she was asking me to put the foam roller were extraordinarily painful, and she's told me to work through it. And, I'm not sore today. What can I say? I did fall at one point. She asked me to sit on the foam roller, then lean my arms back. And as I had one arm back, and I'm like, I'm going to fall. The other one, my arms just are not very strong. And she's like, you're not going to fall. You're not going to fall. And I did fall. So I don't know who was more embarrassed by that. I'm pretty sure it was me. But otherwise, then I ended with 10 more minutes on a recumbent bike. And I was red-faced for about an hour afterwards. But I felt okay. I felt good. I felt like I had been worked out. And I wake up this morning and I have a little, very slight pain in my arms just above my elbows where the muscles are. But that's it. I mean, normally if I would have done this myself and tried to do things, I've been sore for days afterwards and felt that and been so stiff and so miserable. And so this is indeed kicking my butt, as I said. And I will speak to a little bit about the overwhelming part, is that it feels like all those training sessions are so intense that I have this little negative voice inside saying, you can't possibly keep up with this. You can't keep doing this. And I find myself thinking that at the gym, like, how am I going to, walking out, how am I going to do this another time? 3 times a week. And then 2 cardio sessions on my own outside of that. And so there's a voice definitely that's poking through, that's giving me some negative feedback. But I have an appointment with my therapist today, and I will be able to bring that up. Last thing I want to talk about is that before I started on this program, I really wanted to improve what I was eating, because I was having a lot of digestive issues. I was having some stomach issues. My doctor thought I might have an ulcer. I was convinced I didn't have an ulcer, but I was convinced that what I was eating was causing bad stuff to happen to my body. So, and I felt a little out of control with my eating, and I decided to contact a nutritional counselor and have some appointments. And I met with a nutritional counselor from someone from a place called Passionate Nutrition, run by a lady, I think her name is Jennifer Adler. And the nutrition I saw, her name is Elizabeth, and she was fantastic. We did an intake. I think her plan was just to work really slow at slow and reasonable. Slow and really trying to work through all these issues little by little. in order to build on them. And she had been really helpful with getting me to eat breakfast in the morning, with getting me to understand that, you know, I can have sugar, I can have carbs, but I have to pair them with certain things. I have to have a slow burning carb in addition to, you know, a sugar, because that'll keep me going and the sugar just won't. And she really helped me regulate my eating patterns. And in that time, I did end up dropping a little bit of weight. And I think that I did myself a service doing that before this, because this first week hasn't killed me. And I think for some people, coming from their typical styles of eating, you know, either it's a disordered eating pattern or just, you know, just eating way too much, this first week can be shell shock, and I haven't been shell shocked. Everything seems really reasonable, and I think even my calorie amounts are in line with what I was doing before. So that's been really good, and she has been extraordinarily helpful in terms of getting me to really think about my feelings about eating, and help me gain a lot of insight that I carry with me into this program. And so I think I really have a leg up. And yesterday was, I won't call it our final appointment, but it was our appointment to say, okay, basically I'm transferring into this other program where I'm going to have a therapist and I'm going to have a dietitian. So there might be some doubling up, and maybe I can, you know, stop working with her for the time being and see if I'm getting the support I need from this program. And one of the things that I didn't even think about talking about with her, but that she brought up, which was just brilliant, is red alerts. You know, identifying issues that might come up that will signal to me that I need to reach out for more support from my team in the program. And they were things that some of them were things I'd been thinking about, and some of them were things I hadn't. But having them all written down for me is really, really helpful. So a couple of those things I've got them right here on my paper. But one of the things I mentioned was that I didn't stray from eating my chicken this week, because some of the recipes that they had available, you know, I'm not a cook. I don't have a lot of experience working from recipes. So if I say, you know, they say use a half a cup of berries. Okay, well, I put berries in a measuring cup, but they don't add up to half a cup. So I'm very comfortable using weights. And so that kind of triggers me up. I'm unsure about the numbers that I'm getting. Or in the case of, there's this mustard chicken recipe they have, and they say to use 1 1/3 pounds of chicken and mustard and oil and other things. And then you make it all, and it serves 4. And they give the calorie values for each serving, but they don't say how many ounces of chicken is going to be in one serving. And so, because a male serving of protein is 6 ounces and a female serving is 4 ounces. So I get hung up on that stuff, and I have trouble with conversions, and I really need to ask them for advice and tools and things, so that I'm not afraid of messing things up, and I can create the variety that I need for this to be sustainable. Another thing is negative thoughts. I do have a lot of negative thoughts. I mentioned it a little bit before about how I have this voice telling me that this is overwhelming, and how can I possibly keep going to the trainer 3 times a week at this intensity. And I think that voice is something that's plagued me in the past. It's common to people with depression, and I need to mention that. That's a sign that I might be hitting a place where I could easily get derailed. Another thing that we talked about was the idea of counting down. If I find myself looking forward to being done with the program so I could just eat something off program, that's a bad sign. That's a sign that there's some disordered thought going on. because right now the 31 weeks that I have left don't seem like enough. See, I want this to last forever, and I would love to have the support forever. I know I can't, but I mean, I don't want to be counting. I don't want to get to a place where I'm like, oh, I just need to finish this program. That'll be something to watch for. If I find myself binging, if I have a binging episode, obviously, that needs to be reconciled immediately. I hope that I don't get to that. I hope that I can reach out for help when the compulsion starts to creep in before I act on it. If I'm spending too much time and mental energy thinking about food, which I think it's okay right now. I've had a couple incidences this week where I was playing video games and I forgot about like tracking, my time and oh, I was supposed to have a snack an hour ago. Damn it. So it's not all I'm thinking about at this point, but I have been on programs in the past where I'm at work, I'm looking at a tracker, I'm counting down the time until lunchtime so I can get my food and then think about what I'm going to have for dinner and focus on that for a long time, and that's bad news. I've been there before. I don't want to get to that. And then there's some longer term goals, which is like how I'm going to deal with trigger foods that are part of that I've ritualized in the past. Things like Coca-Cola Slurpees and burritos from certain places and Ben & Jerry's ice cream. These things that are idealized and things that I found real comfort in are these things that I'm going to be able to eat in moderation eventually, or am I going to have foods that I just have to say no to permanently? That, okay, I can't go to CPK and get the tostada pizza with a side of sour cream and a side of guacamole and then eat the whole thing slathered in said sour cream and guacamole. That may be, I mean, because that's what I would normally do. Maybe I can't do that anymore. And I don't know. That's a long-term thing, and that's a maintenance thing that I'm very far away from, and I don't feel quite ready to address just yet. But I can't say enough good things about the nutritional counseling I had at Passionate Nutrition, and I think that it really set me up for confidence in going into a more comprehensive program. And if I was in a different place, or if for some reason I wasn't able to afford this program or have the time to do it, I would definitely continue with the counseling and feel like I would be slowly but surely moving towards a more ordered outlook and psychologically stronger footing when it comes to my eating habits. So I was a little sad that was our last appointment, but if I ever need her again, she said she's always available to chat, so that's very good. Well, anyways, this video is very long, but it was a long week, and I have my weigh-in today, I have my therapy appointment today, and I will post some results of that, and I don't know how much I've lost. Another thing is I have not been weighing myself, and so I don't really know where things are. So it's exciting to see. Right now I'm going to bottoms up this shake and try to get myself moving. And until next time, take care.